Be ready. Start. It is, however, contended by the prosecution that on the very date when investigation had been made in this case, the Commissioner of Police Ahmedabad was present and he had given oral permission under Section 20A1 of TADA. We may indicate here that considering the serious consequences in a criminal case initiated under the provisions of TADA, oral permission cannot be accepted. In our view, Section 20A1 must be construed by indicating that prior approval of the statutory authority referred to in the said subsection must be in writing so that there is transparency in the action of the statutory authority and there is no occasion for any subterfuge subsequently by introducing oral permission. Another approval said to have been granted by the Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department for using TADA sections has also been proved by the prosecution to establish compliance of Section 20A1 of TADA. Accused has not joined issue on this count, and in view of the evidence on record, we have no hesitation in accepting the case of the prosecution that the Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, on 15th of June 1994 had given approval. However, its consequences on the conviction of the accused shall be discussed later on. It is worth mentioning here that TADA, as originally enacted, did not contain this provision and it has been inserted by Section 9 of the Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Prevention Amendment Act, Act 43 of 1993. From a plain reading of the aforesaid provision, it is evident that no information about the commission of an offence shall be recorded by the police without the prior approval of the District Superintendent of Police. The legislature, by using the negative word in Section 20A1 of TADA, had made its intention clear. The scheme of TADA is different than that of ordinary criminal statutes and therefore its provisions have to be strictly construed. Negative words can rarely be held directory. The plain ordinary grammatical meaning affords the best guide to ascertain the intention of the legislature. Other methods to understand the meaning of the statute is resorted to if the language is ambiguous or leads to absurd result. No such situation exists here. In the face of it, the requirement of prior approval by the District Superintendent of Police on principle cannot be said to be directory in nature. There are authorities which support the view we have taken. The case against the appellants originally was registered on 19/3/1995 under the Arms Act. The DSP did not give any prior approval on his own to record any information about the commission of an offence under TADA. On the contrary, he made a report to the Additional Chief Secretary and asked for permission to proceed under TADA. Why? Was it because he was reluctant to exercise jurisdiction vested in him by the provision of Section 20A1? This is a case of power conferred upon one authority being really exercised by another. If a statutory authority has been vested with jurisdiction, he has to exercise it according to its own discretion. If the discretion is exercised under the direction or in compliance with some higher authority's instruction, then it will be a case of failure to exercise discretion altogether. In other words, the discretion vested in the DSP in this case by Section 20A1 was not exercised by the DSP at all. Thank you.